Welcome, it's EDDBUD here. Time for some more running news for you. Today we're looking at Jakob Ingebrigtsen's new 1,500 meter indoor record. A new colorway of the STREAKFLY is dropping very soon. I look at an interesting article about breaking in running shoes, and we look at a new study that suggests that highly cushioned shoes may not actually affect your form that much. Running news coming at you. Thanks for joining me here on Running News. If you haven't done so already, help the channel out by hitting that subscribe button and clicking the bell below for notifications when I roll out the new videos for you. And you can help the channel out too by giving this video a thumbs up like and also sharing it with your running buddies. Danke schön. Story 1. You guys know I love Jakob Nielsen, the HCI guru from Denmark. Well, it appears that the first name Jakob is a sign of genius. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, that speedster, has now smashed the indoor 1,500 meter record. He finished in 3 minutes 30.60. It's just staggering. Absolutely staggering speed. He is of course the Olympic champion from last year in Tokyo, and surely for that outdoor version of this event he'll be in with a shout of breaking the record sometime soon. I think that currently stands at 3 minutes 26, held by the legendary El Garouge. El Garouge almost sounds like a sort of cowboy or something, some sort of outlaw. Absolutely amazing. I do remember where I was when I saw El Garouge get that record. There's some historic events, so you just recall where you were, what you were doing, who you were with, all that type of stuff. Another event that I recall fondly was seeing Jakob Ingebrigtsen and also his brother racing, I believe in Norway, on a 5k road race. That was when the lockdown had only been in place for like maybe 2 or 3 months. I remember him wearing the Alphafly and thinking, geez, he's going to run a 5k in the Alphafly? I think that's before people got that shoe and kind of figured it out a little bit. Mind you, he can still run faster than practically everybody else wearing that. I think he could wear a wooden clog and he would actually still run faster than pretty much everyone. I think seeing both him and his brother around that time really did give us that ray of light that maybe one day in the future things will get back to normal again. And thankfully they are beginning to get there. I think considering Jakob Ingebrigtsen's still only 21 years old, it's kind of staggering. He's got incredible potential there and he seems to be tapping into that. What wonders could that boy achieve? Amazing stuff. Story 2. So those of you that missed out on the original version of the STREAKFLY here, the prototype, you won't have to wait too long to get your paws on a new pair. I think there's some new colorways dropping very soon. In the US at least anyway. That white, pink and red variation should be arriving in days and hopefully will put pay to the quite frankly insane StockX prices. And the reason I say that is that this shoe really isn't the insane hype monster beast that it was made out to be. It's not the shoe of all shoes for 5k or 10k, but certainly a very capable and reasonably priced training shoe, I think, with some awesome cushion underfoot. Just how long it's going to last, I don't know. I've been putting mine through its paces, as you can see. No treadmill miles on this one at all. It's just mud and debris from the recent storm. About 50 miles into my testing, so around about 80 kilometers thus far. There's not an awful lot of wear in the forefoot whatsoever. Got to be honest, as ZOOMX shoes go, this one's holding up really well. I think Nike have got a really great shoe on their hands, especially at the price that they're selling it for right now. It's kind of like a lower range Invincible run. What do you make of that alternative colorway, guys? Do you prefer it to the original proto version? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one down in the comments. Story 3. The website T3 recently put up an article about breaking in your running shoes. This did pique my interest and I had to read the article to see if I agreed with some of the hints and tips on offer. I have to admit I didn't agree with all of their suggestions though. Here's a breakdown of some of the points that they made within the article. Firstly, getting used to your new shoes. Yes, well, I think that's very, very reasonable. They recommended just using them on a treadmill to start with so that there'd be minimal wear so you could send them back if they didn't work. Kind of understand where they're coming from there, but not everybody's got access to a treadmill, so that one really doesn't apply to everybody. They did mention about using running socks with the shoes to make sure that you kind of figured out whether they were the right size and they weren't going to rub and such, but you wouldn't really wear running shoes without proper socks anyway. They're just going to burn through normal average everyday socks in seconds. I do think that perhaps testing a shoe out in the morning, perhaps in the middle of the day and in the evening, obviously a foot swells up as the day goes on. That's a very good suggestion, one that I think is something that everybody can utilize when testing out a new shoe. I'm not sure where I stand on this whole sort of 90-day send it back sort of policy that a lot of manufacturers have right now. I've got to be honest, with all the shoes that I've tested, after about 3 or 4 miles you know whether it's going to work for you or not. If it is a long run shoe, some maximally cushioned thing, then obviously you're going to need to use it for that scenario to see if it works. But most daily shoes, you're going to know within a few miles. There's only been a handful of scenarios really of shoes that I've tested and reviewed over the recent years where it just hasn't worked out at all. Most things you can tweak, you can tinker with them, maybe some different socks, different sock thicknesses perhaps. I've only had to almost abort a run a couple of times. I think obviously Hoka Clifton 7, where the arch was just really cutting into my foot, and the ZOOMFly 4, that one just went straight back. It's very rare though, out of all the hundreds of shoes I've tried out, that I've had to do that. I think the slowly integration method of putting these running shoes into your rotation is a bit of a thing of the past now. Those new foams that we've got in the midsoles of most running shoes really have made that something of the past. I think some daily shoes and very specific models need a little bit of braking, but other than that, just get them out of the box and give them a go. Give it a go, young'un. So yeah, I'm not sure about this whole thing of breaking in shoes. There's only been a few, and it didn't take all that long really. But by all means, you know, wear them around the house and maybe do some lawn mowing in them just to be on the safe side. I am joking, of course. In fact, if this is something that you do, please let us know down in the comments. I just keep mine purely for running most of the time. Story 4. I've run loads of miles recently, guys, in that Adidas Adizero Prime X. It's a very addictive shoe. It did start to worry me though, that I was running so many miles in this maximally cushioned shoe, just loads and loads of foam. Was it starting to affect my form? Was it going to give me bad running form if I use this maximally cushioned shoe too often? Well, I have nothing to fear if a recent study is anything to go by. So it was a paper published by the Journal of Biomechanics, where they got runners and tested them on a treadmill in 4 different ways. So firstly, barefoot, and then with 3 different shoes of varying levels of cushion. They found no major difference aside from running barefoot in terms of leg stiffness as the cushion went up. Their main conclusion was really that more cushioned shoes aren't changing the way in which we run. There's very little significant difference in terms of leg and foot stiffness between the different cushion. So I think all of the results here may lead us to believe that maximally cushioned shoes aren't really damaging our form or changing our form all that much. Is it that we're perhaps running more in them? Because I have noticed that there's quite a few people getting injuries, perhaps overtraining maybe. Would be interesting to know whether they tested any shoes that had like a carbon plate. I'd suggest that if you introduce the plate, then you start to get a few changes in terms of biomechanics. So no major changes there in terms of the running form, in terms of the leg muscle operations. So I'd just suggest make sure that a shoe is comfortable, the upper fits well, and obviously ensure that it looks good. That's going to help. It always helps me every time. Tongue very much in cheek on that one. Or is it? What do you make of these running news stories today, guys? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. A musical interlude for you. I've really been enjoying the new album from Black Country New Road. Beautiful guitar tones on these tracks, guys. I think the new album's called Ants From Up Here. Very odd title. Standout track for me is one called Concord. Absolutely wonderful. Video's kind of interesting as well if you want to check it out. Sort of like ant people doing various things. Very strange. There's some beautiful sequencing to this track. Wonderful production. Very open, spacious. Very interesting delivery as well from the singer. Definitely a band I want to check some more stuff out from. Let's hope there's more. I still don't know an awful lot about them. Black Country New Road with their track Concord. Absolutely worth checking out. Thanks for joining me on Running News today and sticking with me to the end of today's video. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and also click the bell below for notifications when we launch those new videos for you. You can also help the channel out by giving this video a thumbs up like and also sharing it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you